Demar Derozan's been a machine this year. Besides from dropping 2 buzzer-beater game winners in a row, making NBA history, he has really came out of the gate as a NBA star and has become one of the best players in the NBA. Obviously being in the NBA MVP race now, but he's really been phenomenal, dropping 26.8 points this year, as well as moving up in the ladder for the Kia MVP for the NBA. Welcome back to the North Podcast. I'm your host, Evan, and it's been a while since we've done one of these, but hey, it's the 1-year anniversary for North Sports, and we have someone on the show that's been here for a while. So here it is, Raheem.
Hi, I'm happy to be here for the 1-year anniversary. It's been a while, but Demar Derozan has been phenomenal. He has popped off in this past little week or so, or few weeks, and he's definitely a top in the MVP race. I feel like he is underrated, honestly, in the NBA right now.
Yeah, a lot of people looked down on him when he was in his Spurs days, as he was just an almost underground player because the Spurs are not a big market. Obviously, San Antonio being in almost the middle of nowhere. Demar has emerged himself as a star, obviously helping his team a lot. This Bulls team is sitting first in the Eastern Conference right now. They have really made themselves up. Also, they're right now in the ESPN Power Rankings 3rd, just behind the Phoenix Suns. And he's really found his spot as a player, obviously finding his own shot in the mid-range area and becoming one of the best players again in the NBA.
Yeah, having the 3rd best record in the NBA, the Chicago Bulls being 24-10. A lot of that goes towards their starting lineup, and especially DeMar DeRozan. Do you think they'll be a championship contender this year?
I think they are a contender, but I don't see them, they're a fringe contender, I guess. They're not like Nets team that we all think has a really good shot at making the championship. It's not like a Heat team who is looking to make a championship, right? Or the Suns or the Warriors in the West. Now, I do think it could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. But I can see some other teams. Obviously, the Nets getting Kyrie Irving back, which we'll talk later in the show about, will be a much better team. I think they can take over the Eastern Conference, get past the Bulls. But the Bulls are looking really good right now, large part to DeMar DeRozan, and I think they could be contenders. I just don't think they'll win a championship.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but along with that, like you already mentioned, Kyrie Irving is back, which we'll talk about later, and that's just a crazy thing to me. It's been a while, but along with those other contenders like Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, and Miami Heat, that team is looking dangerous. And a lot of people do this thing where the best team in the standings in each conference are the most likely to win a championship. But I mean, somewhat of that is true. If you're in the top 5-ish, I'd say you have a good chance. But at this moment in time, I will have to wait and see what happens. In my opinion, the Chicago Bulls don't have the best chance compared to the contenders.
Yeah, we can't put a recency bias on the Bulls right now. They are a good team, they're just not ready. They have guys like Zach LaVine, like Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, Nikola Vucevic. They're all really good players. I just think it's still their first year playing together. You can't forget that. They've worked really well together, obviously, in their first 2 months of playing. But they're not a full, coordinated team yet. They still have some things to work on. I think as time goes, they'll work with each other even better and become a better team, but that could take till next year, or it could be this year. But I can see some other teams like the Nets doing better, even maybe the 76ers, if they can trade someone away for Ben Simmons, becoming a better team, but only time will tell, like you said.
Yeah, and along with those other contenders, there's obviously been a few injured players that have affected teams very badly. But I see, for example, the Warriors, they're still hanging in as the best team with the best record in the NBA, in my opinion. Also the best team in the NBA currently. But they also look to get Klay Thompson back against the Kings Sunday.
And one other thing that about the DeMar Derozan thing, he's heavily underrated in the MVP ladder right now. Yes, this NBA race the NBA ladder by the NBA was posted on December 30th. A lot of stuff has happened, obviously. 2 game winners in a row. This guy has shot over, he's shot 71% from 3 in the last 5 games. He has shot over 50% from the field. He has shot 100% from 3 in the fourth quarter and had 2 game winners. I think that has a large part to do with these last few days, with these last few games. He currently is sitting in 7th in the MVP race right now. But as time goes, I don't think guys like Rudy Gobert, Chris Paul, Nikola Jokic, maybe Jokic, or Joel Embiid will be ahead of him. They are all good players, yes. But I don't think they're better than DeMar Derozan right now. I can see DeMar staying at this caliber for the rest of the year. I can't see Rudy Gobert putting up better numbers than DeMar Derozan. Yes, he has some really high defensive numbers and rebounding numbers, but DeMar is just, it's the MVP, right? He's probably a bigger part to his team. I know that the Jazz are doing well, but the Jazz will never get anywhere. I think the Bulls have a much better chance winning with DeMar than the Jazz are winning with Gobert.
Yeah. Like I was about to say, the Jazz are in this point where they're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
I feel like they're pressured because they have to change something, but that big change is something which could affect them in a really bad way or a really good way, and they're just not willing to take that risk, which leaves them at a standpoint where they're just kind of stuck as just in the middle of it all. And
yeah, well, in the last few years, the Jazz have just been sort of there, right? They have not been championship contenders, but they've not been bad. You know, last year they were first in the Western Conference. Obviously, 75 games, a lot of teams, yada, yada, yada. But you can't discount them. They are a good team, but I just don't see them getting anywhere. Yes, they are 3rd in the West right now, but it's a damn weak Western Conference right now. And they're going to be really good in the regular season. That's how their team's built. But when the playoffs come, they are going to fall apart, and that's what happened last year. And I think that's what's going to happen this year. That might be a pretty hot take, but I could see that happening. Also, going back to what you said about Klay Thompson, now we can talk about that.
Yeah, Klay Thompson, he has been living in, I feel like this is kind of a hot take, kind of like the shadow of Steph Curry, because Steph Curry is just more of like a popular kind of a name around Golden State, but Klay Thompson is a big part of the Golden State Warriors franchise. And if they have 2 sharpshooters like that, there's no stopping them. If they go double one, they'll just kick it to Klay or Steph or whatever. They have so many.
You know, the thing is that Klay he's not by the numbers. Klay is a better shooter than Steph in his career. Steph is obviously widely regarded as the best shooter of all time. But Klay, by the numbers, he is better. I know Steph does take more threes, but he hits more by the efficiency numbers. There's some betters and worses, but I think still Steph is the best shooter of all time. But it's not the slightest race. I think Klay's up there. Now Klay, though, has not played a game in the NBA for 2 years. You know, a lot of things that have happened.
Yeah, a lot of things have happened in 2 years.
Actually, 3 years now. It's 2022.
Yeah, but closer to 2 years. Yeah, the last time he played was in a championship against the Raptors. What they had, that was so long ago. And Klay Thompson, I feel like one of the biggest worries with Klay Thompson is him not being as good as he was back then due to his injury.
Mhm.
But I feel like he's been wanting this and waiting for this for so long that we can't look at it that way because he's that good with it.
Yeah. Well, I think a few things will drop off. His defense was pretty good in his years in Golden State. It wasn't some Rudy Gobert stuff, but it was not bad defense, and a large part came to his legs, which could hurt him in the future because obviously his injury was to his legs. I just can't discredit him just because of that. His shooting is phenomenal. I don't think he can lose that. Obviously, if you saw that video the other day, him hitting 24 straight threes before the game with the Warriors, I don't think he'll come to what he was, averaging those absurd numbers. But I think he can become a good player. He'll obviously help this Warriors team, being the best team in the league right now, become an even better team, as they also add James Wiseman too.
Yeah.
They will be scary. And adding Klay Thompson, a guy who is phenomenal, will just make them even better. I think they can be the number one team as long as the Suns can stay where they are right now.
Yeah, I feel like the only place that they can go from where they currently are with Wiseman and Thompson back is better because they've been key players in the past and they have good roles. And I feel like if they can just fill those roles in the same way they previously did, they don't even have to be the highest caliber or how they were in their best years in the NBA. Meanwhile, James Wiseman is still a young, born player. They just have to kind of fit their roles, and that's something which I believe that they're both capable of doing.
Yeah, well, they recently added Andrew Wiggins back to the lineup. He really gave a spark, dropping, I think it was 23 points last night, if you want to see last night's news, go watch our recent NBA recap. But James Wiseman helped the Warriors to a win yesterday with Draymond Greenless. And this team, if you look at their players, they are good. James Wiseman, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Jordan Poole too, who's really come into the NBA recently as a star. He's been really good. They have him now. Andrew Wiggins, who's averaging 22 this year. Like, this is a team that you should be scared of. 2019 to 2020 was not their year. 2018 to 2019, obviously, they're super team. You can forget about that. But last year and this year aren't really their years. They have really came up as a contender now for the championship. Not a fake contender. I can genuinely see them making the championship right now. If the Lakers stay where they are, I can see the Warriors maybe winning another championship. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I feel like experience is a big thing which goes along with the Warriors winning another championship. Like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, those guys have been there way too many times before. Mm-hmm. And I remember a clip of them back in 2019, and when they realized that there was no coming back from the deficit that they had in that one game, they realized that they lost the 2019 finals and that there was no coming back from that. They were kind of laughing it off, and I feel like with learning all of that, there's no way they can do really bad. And
they're not scared of loss. That's the thing.
Yeah, it was the loss, but they laughed it off.
And I feel like they knew they were going to be back, even though they kind of knew that Klay and that Kevin Durant were going to be gone. I feel like they knew in the back of their heads that they were going to be back as a contender, and they showed it. They're first place in the West right now. So, yeah.
Ready for Klay to come back at any time soon. But we hope to see him back for the Cavs game on Sunday. But if he isn't, we'll keep waiting. Because
we will keep waiting.
We are the best team in the NBA currently.
Another player who's coming back recently is a man named Kyrie Irving. You know, we just talked about a team who's number one in their division, who has a generational talent in Steph Curry. But now we talk about a team who has 2 top 10 players right now in the league, who has a guy named Kevin Durant on their team, James Harden. Obviously, those 2 guys who are top 10 in the league right now. They're a good team. Blake Griffin also there. Second in the Eastern Conference, only 1 game behind the Bulls. The Brooklyn Nets are adding Kyrie Irving. That's something to hear. It's kind of scary. What do you feel about that?
Kyrie, it's complicated, but it was a big effect to his career once he refused to take the vaccine. But I like how he stuck by what he wanted to do. And honestly, for the Nets, I think that Kyrie Irving will give them the boost that they need. James Harden hasn't been showing up the best numbers in his career. But Kevin Durant, he's been doing great. He is also an MVP contender, in my opinion. I feel like he's not the best one yet, but he's somewhere in the lower levels of that top. But he's definitely there, for sure.
Well, Harden right now, he's not been bad.
He hasn't been bad, but not the best.
He hasn't put up his best numbers of his career, obviously. It's not, he's had some good days, I have to say. He's had some good days, but not the days that we saw before. Like, in his career, he is obviously an amazing shooter. Obviously, king in getting fouls. This year, so far, he has averaged 22 points. In his career, he's averaged 25. So it's been a bit different. But I think he's fine. I think, obviously, also Kyrie Irving. Like, this guy, he hasn't played in a while, which could hurt him a little bit. In his career, he's averaged 22 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Good numbers all around. In 2019-2020, he averaged 27 points. 2020 to 2021, 27 points. Like, this guy's a machine. I don't know how he could return to his past form, because that form of him was really good. Obviously, widely regarded as one of the best ball handlers of all time. He will work with Kevin Durant and James Harden. Well, we've seen that in the past. Now, how do you think they will do in the long run? Obviously, being a good team now, but how do you think they will progress as time goes?
Honestly, a thing which a lot of people haven't truly seen is that I feel like we've never had that trio of James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant at full capacity ever. Because I feel like everybody's at least been injured or coming off of an injury directly before or after one another.
Well, the only problem with Kyrie right now, though, he can only play away games. A lot of people are forgetting that, right? He can still only play away games for the Nets. That means that for half of the games that are going to be played now, he can only play 50% of them. And that could hurt the Nets a lot.
Hypothetically, in a situation where the series is tied and Kyrie Irving is needed to be a big part of their win, and he's not there due to the COVID protocol.
Game 7 in the finals. It's an away game versus the Warriors.
And
Kevin Durant goes down with an injury.
Yeah.
It's just James Harden and the garbage can Nets bench versus the Klay Thompson, Steph Curry Warriors. Who do you think wins that?
Yeah, there's quite a rivalry, but James Harden with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, I feel like that's a game which I'd like to watch. But a crippled James Harden and no-show Kyrie without the vaccine is not a good look.
I think it might be controversial. Obviously, everyone, it's political. If he just got the vaccine, he'd be playing the whole year. I can give it to him. He stuck by it for a while. Honestly, but if he just gets it, he gets money, man. Doesn't he not want that? I feel like he's got enough for his career. But you're playing in the NBA. Like, I don't know where he started getting it from. But honestly, I'll let him do him.
Honestly, I feel like where he's gone to a point in his life where basketball isn't in his main focus or in his main idea anymore. Which I honestly respect. Is just being with the ball. Like, some it means more than others because of the backstory the effect has in their lives. But I respect his decision at the end of the race. He's not trying to get through.
Yeah. So now let's go to our last topic in the power rankings of the NBA. Now, do you want me to read them out to you?
Sure.
All right. So in number 1, we have, not surprising, the Golden State Warriors. 7 losses this year, 28-8 record. Draymond Green, who is in COVID protocol, they still win. Andrew Wiggins has been amazing. Steph Curry's been amazing. Jordan Poole's been amazing. And obviously, rightfully number 1. Number 2, the Phoenix Suns have been amazing as well. Jalen Smith has been amazing. Mason Plumlee's been good off the bench, as well as their big guys like Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Payne. They've all been really good this year. 28-8 record, previous ranked second. Good team. Now we talk about something special. Ranked 6 before, it's the Chicago Bulls. Good luck stopping Demar Derozan right now. During the 7-game winning streak that has valued the Bulls into first place in the Eastern Conference, DeRozan's averaging 28.4 points and shooting 48%. The Bulls have been clutch this year, and they really show it. In 4th place, staying in 4th, the Utah Jazz. 5th place, the Milwaukee Bucks. 6th place, Brooklyn Nets. 7th place, Miami Heat. 8th place, Grizzlies. 9th place, 76ers. And 10th place, Cavs. How do you feel about this list? Do you think there's anything you would change about it? And how do you feel about the Warriors being number 1 over the Suns, as well as the Bulls being number 3?
The Cavs, honestly, just want to put it out there. They are doing better than I actually thought they would. They're doing good. They're surprisingly not doing bad. And I feel like the list is kind of reasonable. I get where they're coming from. A couple of playoff matchups that I'd like to see. I don't know why. I would always want to see like a Bucks versus Bulls. I don't know if there's I've always wanted to see that. Like a playoff Giannis, playoff Chris versus like a healthy DeMar and a MVP DeMar. That'd be sick.
Yeah. I can also see in the finals of Warriors versus Nets or Warriors versus Bulls.
That's in the finals.
But the Cavaliers, they've been good this year. The only problem is they might drop off soon. They're a 21-16 record. Kevin Love has reemerged as a star this year. Obviously, Darius Garland has been amazing. Guys like Evan Mobley has bursted onto the scene as a rookie. And Larry Markkanen been good, as well as Jarrett Allen with that big contract has been good. Now they still are missing Colin Sexton right now, which is not bad. The only problem though is the Cavaliers just suffered an injury to Darius Garland. He is on the COVID protocol, so it's not a full injury, but it could be around 2 weeks that the Cavaliers don't have Darius Garland. They did win their last game, but how do you think that can hurt the Cavaliers in the future?
Yeah, the Cavaliers, I feel like it wouldn't hurt them as much as I feel like it would. But the Cavaliers, they've been such a insane team in the past, like LeBron James, and I feel like going forward and moving forward is what they've done, and I feel like that's how they got into how good they are right now with their new roster with Colin Sexton, who's currently injured, and Evan Mobley, who is a contender for Rookie of the Year, and Kevin Love, who's a bit on the older side, but he is doing great this season.
And finally, how do you feel about the Boston Celtics? Actually, let me guess what your power ranking is right now for the Celtics.
Probably like, yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I just want to make this. I feel like, honestly, they'd probably be 19, 20th.
Really? You kind of underestimated them. They're 17th right now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, right behind the Mavericks. The only Jason Tatum is injured. How do you think that will help them after a brutal December schedule? They're going into an easier January, though.
Yeah, they did get a win against the Suns, which I was happy about. But Jaylen Brown, it's a really disappointing thing. They won in overtime against the Magic, which I did not like. But
they won, though. They won.
They did win. Jaylen Brown dropped 50 points.
Yes, sir. Terrence Ross dropped. They let Terrence Ross, the 33-year-old, drop 33 on them.
Yeah, but
so, that might be a bit of a problem.
They dropped 50, and I feel like they're pretty equal, honestly, as players. I feel like Jason Tatum's just a little bit better, but young players, similar age, similar points per game, honestly, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum is injured.
Jason Tatum actually is looking to come back from health and safety protocols this week, but we don't have a certain date yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't classified, right?
Pardon?
It wasn't clarified when he'd come back.
No, they just said sometime this week. So.
COVID protocol, it's been going along with a lot of people born after injuries. But I hope to see the Celtics doing better because I know they can do better. I feel like they won't. I feel like if they go, my best goal, the best look we could see from them probably is skipping the play-in tournament straight to the playoffs. That's the best thing.
Yeah. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I could see that too.
All right. So that will do it for our podcast today. If you like this, like and subscribe. If you want more videos like this, comment down below. So thanks, Raheem, for coming on today.
You're welcome. Happy 1-year anniversary.
Thank you. We're going to be posting an NBA recap tomorrow morning, recapping all the NBA games from last night. So see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Bye.